Hi class, welcome to week 11. You have made it. You are so close to the finish line. So this video is going to cover what we're doing this week and then also a little bit about the upcoming weeks. And so let's move into week 11. You do have an exam this week. It's covering chapters 9, 10, and 11. This should kind of be a piece of cake exam. It's only 25 questions and only over these three chapters. And so obviously I would recommend that you complete the chapter 11 activity. And the other nice thing about this chapter particularly is it should be and serve as a review for chapter 9 a little bit, right? Because when we talked about chapter 9 and cellular respiration, the only time we manipulate the way we derive ATP from food substrate is through exercise, right? Whether we're exercising really hard or exercising where we can take in a lot of breath and we're doing a lot of breathing, and that identifying the difference between aerobic and anaerobic metabolism, right? And the types of fuel that we would use during that type of work. And so these three chapters go together super nicely. In addition, this week you have your introduction problem statement. Now I have a new button available for you in Blackboard right under here, and I'm going to take you to it in a second. And this is going to be your signature assignment. Your signature assignment is actually a diet analysis project where you are going to make a distinct change in your diet. And you are going to follow recommendations and support that through research. So here for you is what you would find under that link. And you can see here that the whole point is that you are going to decide what most impacts you, why you should change that behavior, and what recommendations you're going to follow to do that. And so in order to help make sure that you are on the right path and whether you've chosen well-founded, scientifically based recommendations and whether you're choosing enough, because I say 2 to 3, but for example, if you're going to be vegan for a week, that's good enough. That's actually probably a whole lot of change. But if you're just going to take sugar out of your diet, well, we might need to add in a couple more recommendations with that. And so to give you an idea of where to begin, I'm going to have you do a journal before we get to the high stakes paper. I think it would be very helpful for you to read through this paper. I'm going to make a separate video as we get a little bit closer to how this entire project is going to be constructed, but I think if you go and read this, you'll understand the overarching idea, and so when we do these smaller steps along the way, they'll prove more helpful to you. So here is your introduction problem statement. And it is exactly this. It's just a journal. You are just letting me know what recommendations you are going to follow and why that's a problem for you. For example, I give the example of sugar. If you're drinking, a Dutch Bros every day and a couple energy drinks, and everything that we've learned up to this point in sugar, you know that your sugar intake is going to be way too high. And then you also know that that could lead to cardiovascular disease, obesity, and a gamut of other problems. And so really what you're doing here is you're saying, these is what I want to work on. These are the recommendations I want to follow. And this is why I want to follow them. And I think in the end, that will really help you. I would like you to do this right away. And so if you could do this even today or tomorrow, that would be great. I'm going to be grading these every day because I'm going to give you feedback right away on whether these is the right recommendation to choose, whether you might struggle finding research for it, because next week you're going to begin your plan of action. So on these, the faster that you complete them, the quicker I can get you feedback. Next week, we'll start our plan of action on how you'll implement these dietary changes. And so, I will be looking out for your journal entries, and please let me know if you have questions. Again, go ahead and read under signature assignment and read that first part, and that will help make this sense a little bit as well. And then the other thing I want to highlight you to, past this week, you're going to notice a change in our scheduling. And so beginning with week 12, you'll notice that our Learn Smarts are due at the end of the week. I've done this for a couple of reasons. Our weeks are pretty packed, and this week you actually have a lot to do, and I didn't want to overwhelm you with Learn Smarts 2. In addition, your fellow peers are going to be creating presentations and you'll have access to those presentations. And so I think that it will serve you two ways. One, to complete the Learn Smart and watch the presentations, or you can watch the presentations and then complete the Learn Smarts. Okay, and we'll stay in this pattern until the end of this semester. Well, I hope you have a wonderful week and welcome back.